The name Yahweh appears in the Bible more than 6,500 times. What does this name mean? What is the origin of the name of the God who saved the Israelites from Egypt? In chapter 1 of Genesis, only the name God appears. In chapter 2, in the Garden of Eden, it is already Yahweh God. In the story of Cain and Abel in chapter 4, Yahweh appears alone. And later, God appears alone. However, it is not until Moses that God reveals his name, Yahweh, which is derived from the root verb was, meaning to be. However, the name Yahweh originates in Midian, derived from the Arabic term meaning love, longing, or desire. In the book of Exodus, chapter 5, after Moses complains that Pharaoh had been evil to the people, burdening their work and not sending them free, God reveals himself to Moses and repeats his promise to take Israel out of Egypt and bring them to the promised land. God reveals to Moses that his name is Yahweh and that this name was unknown to the ancestors, except as God Almighty. Exodus 6 verses 2-3, World English Bible. God spoke to Moses, and said to him, I am Yahweh. I appeared to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, as God Almighty, but by my name Yahweh I was not known to them. The Testech makes it clear that the name Yahweh is of great importance, marking a new era in the ancient history of the people of Israel. At the same time, we do not receive an explanation regarding the meaning of the name. In the description of God's revelation in the burning bush, where his name was revealed for the first time, the meaning of the name was indeed explained, or at least hinted at. Exodus 3 verses 13-14, World English Bible. Moses said to God, Behold, when I come to the children of Israel, and tell them, The God of your fathers has sent me to you, and they ask me, What is his name? What should I tell them? God said to Moses, I am who I am, and he said, You shall tell the children of Israel this, I am has sent me to you. When Moses asked God for his name, God's first answer was, I am that I am, or, I will be what I will be. Followed by the instruction, Thus shall you say to the children of Israel, I will be my messenger to you. The word, I will be, sounds similar to Yahweh in Hebrew, Yahweh, and implies a play on words between will be and being or existence. Exodus 3 verse 15, World English Bible. God said moreover to Moses, You shall tell the children of Israel this. Yahweh, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, and the God of Jacob, has sent me to you. This is my name forever, and this is my memorial to all generations. How strange it sounds when God presents himself as both, I will, and Yahweh, without explaining the change in the verses that seek to apply the word. After Moses killed the Egyptian and fled from Pharaoh, he arrived at Midian, where he met the Midian priest Jethro and married his daughter, Zipporah. While tending his father-in-law's sheep, he saw a burning bush and received a revelation of God on the mountain of God. Exodus 3 verse 1, World English Bible. Now Moses was keeping the flock of Jethro, his father-in-law, the priest of Midian, and he led the flock to the back of the wilderness, and came to God's mountain, to Horeb. This connection indicates that the mountain of God is not located in Israel or Egypt, but rather in the Horeb desert, not far from Midian. If the area is indeed the one referred to in the Bible as Midian, we have considerable information about the material culture of its people during the Late Bronze Age and the beginning of the Iron Age. A little northeast of Medina, in the Al-Quria Desert Oasis, lived a group of semi-nomads who worked in pottery and created ornately and colorfully decorated pieces. The Midianites were a tribe originating from the west and, according to the book of Judges, they were the descendants of the Ishmaelites. The Medes were an Arab tribe that engaged in metalworking, trading spices and perfumes, and were based in the northeast of the Arabian Peninsula. However, their distribution in the region was widespread, including pockets of settlement in the southwest of the Sinai Peninsula, beyond southern Jordan, and in the steppe of southeast Negev. Let's go back to the meaning of the name Yahweh, and the place where it was revealed to Moses. In the geographical list of Amenhotep III in the Nubian temple of Suleb, the word Yahweh represents the name of a country. Just as one group of nomads lived in a land called Sha'ir, another group lived in a land called Yahweh. Indeed, in antiquity, a name could be used for both a place and a god. The name Ashur clearly demonstrates this. It is the name of the main god of Assyria and also the name of the ancient capital city of that people. In the end, he was also done for the sake of the empire. Another example is the name of the Greek goddess of wisdom, Athena, who was the patron goddess of Athens initially. The Mount of God, the story of Moses and the burning bush, tells of how Moses went to the Mount of God while he was shepherding the sheep of his father-in-law's Midianites. Moses walked in the Midianite territory, not in Arabia, but likely in the vicinity of present-day Petra, which is the biblical sanctuary. If the origins of the name Yahweh are in the land of the nomads Yewa among the Midianites, then the meaning of the name derives from the Arabic language, not from the Aramaic Hebrew language. Scholars call the exclusive worship of one god monolatrism, from Greek, mono equals single, latria equals worship. Whereas monotheism claims that no other god exists, monolatrism acknowledges the existence of other deities but singles out loyalty and exclusive connection to only one god. In fact, many passages of the Bible that we understand today as monotheistic were actually monotheistic. A classic example can be found in the Ten Commandments themselves. Deuteronomy 5 verse 7 and 9, World English Bible. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not bow yourself down to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh your God, am a jealous God. The text does not claim that other gods do not exist, however, they must not be worshipped alongside the worship of God, as God is a God of jealousy and anger and such actions will arouse his wrath. In Psalm 83 verse 18, World English Bible, it is said, that they may know that you alone, whose name is Yahweh, are the Most High over all the earth. In many translations, the name Yahweh was omitted and replaced by various titles such as Lord or Eternal. The verse speaks of a certain name, Yahweh. This name appears in the original version of the Bible more than 6,500 times. It is clear that God's name is of paramount importance. So, why did some translators omit the name from their Bible translations and replace it with titles? There are likely two main reasons for this. The first reason many argue that the name should not be used is because its original pronunciation is not known today. Ancient Hebrew was written without punctuation. Therefore, no one can say with certainty how the name Yahweh was used in biblical times. Similarly, if you visit another country, you will find that your first name sounds quite different in a foreign language. Therefore, uncertainty regarding the ancient pronunciation of God's name is not a valid excuse for not using it. A second reason for omitting God's name from the Bible is related to a long-standing Jewish tradition. Many Jews believe that it is forbidden to utter the name of God. This belief apparently stems from a misinterpretation of one of the Ten Commandments. Exodus 20 verse 7, World English Bible. You shall not misuse the name of Yahweh your God, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless who misuses his name. The commandment forbids misusing God's name. However, it was not always like that. The writers of the Bible often used the name of God. Since they were all people of faith who lived according to the Bible that God gave to the Israelites. We do not know the exact way in which God's name was used in ancient Hebrew. However, the pronunciation of Yahweh is the most accepted form of pronunciation of God's name in Hebrew today. Ancient Hebrew was written in a consonant script, without vowels or punctuation. After the Bible was written, some Jews adopted the superstitious belief that it was forbidden to pronounce God's first name. When they read aloud a verse containing God's name, they replaced it with titles such as Lord or God. This superstition took root in the centuries that have passed since then, resulting in the loss of the ancient form of pronunciation. God himself explained the meaning of his name to Moses. When Moses asked about God's name, Yahweh answered him, "I will be what I will be," Exodus 3 verse 14. The meaning is, I will be as I want to be. Thus, Yahweh can cause himself to be what he must be in order to fulfill his purposes. But at the same time, he is happy to use his power for his loved ones. 2 Chronicles 16 verse 9, World English Bible. For Yahweh's eyes run back and forth throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in the behalf of them whose heart is perfect toward him. You have done foolishly in this, for from now on you will have wars. Those who do not know his name are unable to recognize the wonderful aspects of Yahweh's personality. We hope you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a like and share it with your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more informative and entertaining content. Thank you for watching. See you next time.